tutorial starts with a song, but it's only a few seconds long. Let's get started with animation. Hello folks, it's raining outside and this has inspired me to do a watery tutorial. I've done several tutorials using the Bifrost Fluids, here, and this is yet another one. For a backdrop I use a skydome light which wraps around the whole scene and which gives a nice reflection through that glass effect. It's glass and liquid, they have similar diffraction. Keep an eye on the camera retreats. The man is still intact. And now he slowly melts down. And the camera gets a different angle. It looks at the surface where the splash appears right now. And then when the whole character dissolves into a little pool. That's basically everything. I show you the scene, sort of. We built this similar scene from scratch. Okay, we go to Windows, and here we have the content browser. In earlier versions of Maya, you have the content browser under General Editors. And in the content browser, we find under bipeds, that is under modeling, people, sculpting, base meshes, whatever, bipeds. And I chose the obese man. He is too big for our scene, so I press the key F and the key R to scale him down quite drastically. And now I press the key F to focus on him or to frame him. And this is just about what we need. It has to do with the dimensions which are important for all dynamic simulations really. So he is a mesh polygon object, certainly not a NURBS object. If you want to get familiar with industrial design, car design, automobile design, new kitchenware or anything which you need to model for manufacturing and prototyping, you need knowledge about NURBS, but the knowledge about NURBS is something else, something different. And I did a 12-part course on Udemy and Skillshare, which you might want to have a look at. Okay, we go to FX here in the basic menu, which shows different menu entries here, depending on what you have. Under FX, you see the Bifrost Fluids, and we create a liquid from the selected object. Now we select the character, the mesh, and hide it with the key H. And when we run the simulation now, we don't really see much. Let me toggle the screen black like this. Here you see him more or less, and then he falls down. There's no interaction with the floor, that's why we introduce a floor. And what I did, I scaled this polygon cube just up and made it very flat, moved it slightly to the bottom, and I needed to select the liquid and the cube, I think. And under Bifrost Fluids, you can now create a collider. So the blue dots collide with that surface now. But we don't see them, all right, because, well, it has to do with different things. Let me see. Here we have the Bifrost Liquid properties number 1, and in the Bifrost Liquid properties number 1, we have the gravity. The gravity is not in the nucleus, which we're probably used to from the N world, the N particles, the N cloth, the N hair, the N constrained, N cache, etc. But the Bifrost Fluids have a different methodology as to dynamic simulation, and the gravity is here. So I reduce the gravity to 3, so the particles don't fall down that fast. And the other, and that's a very crucial point here, is the resolution, and the resolution is currently set to 0.5. When I make the resolution much smaller, much more more detailed, the animation takes much more time to render, but you see now the structure appears. This is not because of the gravity, it is because of the master voxel size. There is a possibility, let me see where it is, to visualize the liquid better. That's under the liquid, and you can visualize the voxels if you want to. I'm quite happy with the dots right here. It really depends on the animation you have. And now he falls down, and you see that we have this splashing effect here already. It's basically everything I did apart from the lights which I applied here. Let's have a look at the lights now. I introduce under Arnold, an area light, and I move it over here, make it bigger like this, and rotate it slightly like this. This looks good. I untick normalize, I raise the exposure to say 3. And now I render this scene, and this already looks very good. And I want more reflections, that's why I map the sky dome light around the whole scene, and I map an image with color and structure to that sky dome light, which I won't do here now. Let's play the simulation a little bit further like this, and have a look again. Very nice. If this is too crude for you, you want more splashes, etc., the splashes appear here already, then you would typically go into the properties again, the Bifrost Liquid properties, and reduce the voxel size even further, for example to 0.1. The simulation takes longer for this, but we have more details now. I'll show you the result, and of course you need a sound effect. Have a nice day. Bye bye.